don't usually like to end the day on a story that really pisses me off, but it's 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, November 30th, and this is where I'm at. There's a story out today that Donald Trump has granted clemency to a private equity executive who defrauded thousands of people, a total of $1.6 billion. David Gentile was convicted in August of 2024 of defrauding more than 10,000 victims. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison, and Donald Trump granted him clemency just a couple of days into his sentence. The grift, the corruption of this regime. Right, just a couple of weeks ago, Donald Trump pardoned some crypto billionaire who defrauded God knows how many people. Right, back in October, I think it was, he pardoned Binance's crypto bro executive, Chinese-born Changpeng Zhao. I think he goes by CZ. Donald Trump pardoned him. And then when the press asked him about it, he was like, who? What? Which led to questions of who is auto-penning Donald Trump's pardons? Are people just pushing it in front of him and being like, just sign this, grandpa? Because he said he didn't know who this guy was and was not aware of the pardon. Right. Zhao was convicted of money laundering, billions in money laundering. Binance itself had to pay $4.3 billion in fines. And Donald Trump just pardoned him. And then today, we hear that Trump pardoned executive David Gentile for scamming thousands of people out of $1.6 billion. He granted clemency. So Gentile, who's 59, was originally going to be in prison until he was 66. He served just a couple of days, and it's not being completely expunged from his record, but he doesn't have to serve any time. Donald Trump said he was going to drain the swamp. He said he was going to deal with waste, fraud, and abuse, but he's pardoning bros who commit securities fraud, wire fraud, and defraud tens of thousands of investors of over $1.5 billion. Corruption is just so blatant, so on the surface, and we're just all supposed to accept it. Nobody's outraged by this. Why are more politicians not outraged about all of the pardons? Sure, at the beginning of the year, Donald Trump pardoned all the January 6ers, except for a couple who refused to pardon. He pardoned January 6ers who had convictions for SA and domestic abuse and CSA. He pardoned January 6ers who beat cops. He's pardoned all kinds of bros so far this year, but lately he's really into pardoning wealthy executives who commit financial crimes. They just get a little get out of jail free card. How much money did these guys and their buddies give to Donald Trump's ballroom or his inauguration or whatever, his Halloween parties? Like, it's all so blatant. The corruption is so blatant. It makes me absolutely livid. How did anybody who voted for Donald Trump think that he was going to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse? How did anybody who voted for Donald Trump think that this was going to be about draining the swamp and ending corruption? How did anybody think a literal billionaire who made his living conning people, stiffing his contractors and employees, how did anybody think that a billionaire like Donald Trump, with his gilded apartment in New York with Mar-a-Lago and all of its disgusting, gaudy opulence, how did anybody think that guy was a populist who cared about the working class? How did anybody think that guy was going to end corruption in the United States government? Like, come on. Is there corruption in our government? Absolutely. Is there corruption from both parties? Yep, totally. Is Donald Trump doing a damn thing to stop it? No. Is he exacerbating it tremendously? Yes. Sorry, I'm a lot worked up. So many working class people voted for their own oppression and exploitation. It's on full fucking display. And where are they? Are they not outraged? Are they even paying attention? Let me read a little bit from this piece here while I calm down. Gentile and his co-defendant, Jeffrey Schneider, were convicted in August 2004 on conspiracy to commit securities fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and securities fraud. Prosecutors said Gentile and Schneider participated in a years-long scheme to defraud more than 10,000 investors by using Gentile's private equity firm, GPB Capital, to misrepresent the source of the funds and how they were performing to make monthly distribution payments. GPB funds raised more than $1.6 billion collectively from investors. Gentile was sentenced in May to 7 years in prison and Schneider to 6. It appears that Schneider is still in prison. Guess somebody from his team didn't buy off Daddy Donald at the right amount, or maybe not yet. He didn't demonstrate sufficient loyalty like Steve Bannon to get a pardon, I guess. Joseph Nocella Jr., U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, said in a statement at the time that Gentile and Schneider built a foundation of lies. The defendants built GPB Capital on a foundation of lies. They raised $1.6 billion from individual investors based on false promises of generating investment returns from the profits of portfolio companies, all while using investor capital to pay distributions and create a false appearance of success. The sentences are well-deserved and should serve as a warning to would-be fraudsters that seeking to get rich by taking advantage of investors gets you a one-way ticket to jail. Except that Donald Trump will just come in and give you a get-out-of-jail-free card if you have sufficiently, greased his palms, lined his pockets? Alice Marie Johnson, Donald Trump's pardon czar, wrote Thursday on social media that she was deeply grateful that Gentile would be reunited with his young children. He's 60 years old and he has young children. Okay. I know I've said it before and I will continue to say it. If Democrats want to have a winning position, they have to establish themselves as an anti-corruption party. They need to root out corruption in their own party and then commit to rooting out corruption in the government, because they have to create themselves as an opposition to what Donald Trump is, and his party is just rife with corruption. Corruption is the name of the game. It is the entire purpose of what the Trump regime is doing. It's all about the grift. It's all about exploiting taxpayers. It's all about exploiting the planet. It's about exploiting workers. Also, the super rich can prosper. It's all about corruption. It's all about pardoning criminals who commit fraud. It's all about the super rich getting to play by their own rules, by them not having to face the consequences of their actions, about the super rich getting to fuck all of us over, and Donald Trump will write them a get-out-of-jail-free card. If the Democrats want to win, they have to establish themselves as a party opposed to all of that. They have to establish themselves as an anti-corruption party. First of all, we need justice. We need an anti-corruption party who will get justice for what is happening now. We deserve that. The American people deserve that. It's a winning platform. It is a winning platform. It's what we deserve, what we need, what the American people have an appetite for. They wanted a populist. That's why so many conservatives voted for Donald Trump. But they got a faux populist. How they didn't realize that before, I don't know, but maybe they're realizing it now as he pardons executive billionaire after fraudster, grifter, executive billionaire. He is making sure that all of the super rich don't have to play by the rules, that they can hurt us however they want, and Donald Trump will make sure that they get away with it. How Democrats don't see that playing against that is a winning hand, how they don't see that it is not only politically strategic, it is also just and right to reform their party, to get corruption out of the Democratic Party. After all, it is corruption in the Democratic Party that made so much of Donald Trump's faux populism appealing to the right? Because they saw Nancy Pelosi and a number of other corporate establishment Democrats refusing to block single-payer stock trades by members of Congress. They saw members of Congress cozying up, Clinton-esque Democrats cozying up to wealth, becoming very wealthy, and they felt that none of their needs were getting met. Their quality of life wasn't improving, while establishment corporate Democrats got richer and richer and benefited who? Corporations, not people. So there is absolutely a need for Democrats to clean the fucking house and establish themselves as an anti-corruption party. Again, politically savvy, morally just. And in the meantime, I will just sit here and fume a little bit more about how yet another fraudster, yet another corrupt, powerful white man is able to do whatever he wants, and Donald Trump will write him a get-out-of-jail-free card.